Welcome back to Southeast Texas Weekly. I'm Kevin Steele, but finally gracing us on our set for once, class up the place a little bit, Jamie Smith, Ward 4 Councilman, Beaumont City Councilman. Good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you, too.
Thanks for coming in. Well, fix us up on our information on where the city stands by way of informing the public on this matter of where our schools are going. In particular, Blanchette Bingman. A lot of people have questions about where the construction effort is right now and maybe what happens in the next little bit. You've got to get together, don't you?
Yeah, well, next Thursday, August the 5th, we're going to have a town hall meeting. The gentleman that the company is handling the construction, Wallace Construction, Wallace Batiste Construction, they're getting ready to really ramp up construction of Blanchette Bingman. So he had called me and said, hey, you know, traffic's going to be funny, parking and things like that. So, you know, I would like to be proactive and let the citizens know what's going on so it won't be a shock to them, it won't be any problems, and they could come out and talk to us and we can make things work out for them.
Well, we don't want to overshoot them, but do you think there will be some traffic snarls in the area? You know?
Well, he guesstimated probably about 120 or so cars is going to need to be parked. Of course, they do have a parking lot where some of them will be parked, but you have trucks coming in and out, so the parking is going to be limited. So they're going to have to utilize the street. And we're trying to find an alternate means to help them out, to make it easier for the citizens, because we don't want them to be bogged down or blocked in.
What can you do, though, in a situation like that? What's in the planning? What can you do?
Well, we'll look at, since school won't be going on, we don't have to worry about the school traffic. So we look at parking along Sarah Street. There are a couple of empty, vacant lots. We'll contact the owner and see if we can get permission to allow some of their workers to park there. And just do what we can to make the transition easy for the citizens that's in the neighborhood.
Okay. The rest of that immediate neighborhood needs to know about this town hall meeting at the I guess you're calling it the Blanchette Bingman Informational Meeting?
Yes, sir.
L.L. Melton Family Life Center, 3400 block of Sarah.
Yes.
Thursday, August the 5th. You'll be there to answer any questions?
I'll be there to answer any questions, whether it's about the school or any questions they may have about the city. I know a lot of people are worried about the city budget and what's going on.
That is a big question, too. Right now, cities across the nation are, along with states, and guess what? Federal government, state governments, everybody right now is hurt in the economic climate. Is Beaumont going to be in a position where certain taxes and fees are going to have to go up?
Taxes, no. This is not a good time to raise taxes. Our citizens are facing layoffs and things from the plants and other jobs are laying them off, so we do not want to raise taxes on our citizens. Some of the fees will be going up, from EMS fees, also animal control fees, things like that, to help generate a little bit more revenue, because the main important thing, we are going to have a shortfall. We're going to be about $1.7 million for fiscal year 2010, which is ending September 31st. And we have a projected $2.4 million shortfall for fiscal year 2011.
$1.7 million sounds like a lot of money to me, but is that, in governmental terms, is that real dire straits?
If you compare our city to other cities around, no, that's really pretty good. I know that sounds bad, but I've had friends in Fort Worth and stuff tell me that they're facing a $40 million shortfall. So really, that's not bad, and what we're going to do is just take that from the general fund, which is still healthy, to bridge the gap.
Now, there is a rainy day fund as well, correct, that you have?
Correct. We have a rainy day fund, and normally you keep that rainy day fund 15% of your revenues. But due to our area and being prone to hurricanes, we have it about 20% of our revenue. And that's because if things happen, we want to be able to spend cash to take care of our citizens without having to wait or borrow money for reimbursement from the government.
What happens, there had been some talk reference the firefighters, and there were some concerns about what would happen with firefighting jobs, and you know, those emergency responders that we need, you know, so much. What will have to be done with regard to that again?
Well, what we started doing, we looking at things back in August of last year, what we could do proactively to try to slim down the deficit, because we know we're going to be.
Well, there was even debate about whether a substation would have to go away.
Right. We I can't speak for the rest of the council, but pretty much the consensus was not to close any fire stations. Safety is #1 with the council. We don't want any citizen to feel like they're in harm's way. But what we did do, however, reduce minimum staffing with the firefighters, because at the staffing level, they was getting a lot of overtime. The overtime was building up. By reducing the minimum staffing, we actually ended up saving about $1 million.
About $1 million?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with that alone. So your minimum staffing is, and this is sort of inside baseball, but do you know what the number of firefighters is, minimum staffing?
Our minimum staffing for a shift is approximately 44 firefighters.
It's 44
if it
for
falls
a shift.
below,
that's citywide?
That's citywide. If it falls below 44, then we call in. Before, the minimum staffing was at 47.
I see. Fantastic. There were questions that the appraisals would have a big impact, and it was pretty early on. But what do we know about appraisals that would help the city?
Well, fortunately, the numbers are coming in, and they're not as bad as we thought. So our deficit probably will not be 2.4 million. It might be closer to 2 million, or maybe a little less. So that's one good thing, and because we don't want to raise taxes. That's definitely a no in these economic hard times. And we're not going to lay off anybody, because everyone needs their job. It's hard out there, and we want to make sure that we reward our city employees who do an outstanding job for the city of Beaumont.
Pardon me, you got a 15% reserve fund right now. You said a 20% reserve fund.
We're up to 20 due to the hurricanes, right?
Is there any reason why we'd have to cut in there, budget-wise, otherwise? What could you foresee, if you'll forgive me for asking, what maybe the worst sort of scenario would be?
Well, the only bad scenario would be right now, besides us supplementing the deficit, would be, of course, if a hurricane would happen to hit. Then we would go into the general fund. We'll set up a separate account under the name of the hurricane, and we would use the general fund for salaries and any services, any machinery, anything that we need to bring in right away to help support and stabilize the city of Beaumont and protect the citizens.
But you'd vote against any talk of tax increases right now?
Oh yes, I'm 150% against any type of tax increase right now.
Let's go back for a final word on the town hall meeting, because those are crucial, aren't they? And you know what? Would it be the fact of the matter that you've had more town hall meetings than maybe any of our other council persons?
Well, I believe in a transparent government, and I believe that we need to hear from our citizens, and if we don't put ourselves in a position to hear from our citizens, how can we rule?
Yeah, how are you going to govern correctly? Yeah.
So, that's why I thought, town hall meetings are very good. You get to get feedback, you get to see what they're doing, what they would like, and they can understand what direction you're trying to go into.
Yeah. Okay, so our town hall meeting is coming up at the LL Melton YMCA. When?
It will be August the 5th, 5:30 to 7 at the LL Melton Family Life Center.
Now, can they ask anything they want?
Anything they want. If I can't answer it, I'll call you. But they can ask any question, and there will be school officials and people from the construction company out there to answer questions about the construction of Blanchette Bingman.
That's crucial as well. Jamie Smith, very good to see you as always. Thanks a lot for coming by and giving us your time. Again, the meeting on the 3400 block of Sarah Street, Blanchette Bingman Town Hall meeting, to give you a little more information about what's going on with construction there and how you can get around the neighborhood. That has been our time. For Southeast Texas Weekly, I'm Kevin Steele. We hope to see you back here next time for the very latest, political and otherwise. Take care of yourself until then.